Hello, everyone. Eddie here again, and today I actually want to talk a little bit about healthcare. Before I get started, I want to say that I've been absent for a few months, and it actually ties into healthcare in that I actually underwent surgery. I actually had bilateral hip surgery to repair my hips that were basically terrible. Um, just a little background information. Earlier this year, my eldest son, who's 2 years old, ran out into the street and I could not catch him because I was in so much pain with my hip. And I'm fortunate and blessed that I live on a dead end street, so there was no fear of a car, but it's just the fact that I couldn't catch him that I decided that I would go ahead and have the surgery done. I had been dealing with the pain for close to about 10 years. I've been trying to do a lot of, yoga, stretching, eating right, little bit of pain medication, just everything that I could do, strengthening my legs. But eventually the pain became somewhat unbearable. And so I just bit the bullet and had a bilateral hip surgery. And the reason that I want to do this topic was because while I was in the hospital, they gave me the readout of the bill, and the only thing I could say was, "Good Lord, that's a lot of money to get hip surgery done." I had no idea, even though the insurance covered like 90 something percent, there was still a lot of money that I had to pay out of pocket. And that got me to thinking that a lot of people actually don't go to the doctor or don't go to the hospital because that's a lot of money to pay to get something done. And as I sat in the hospital bed, that kept gnawing at me that, first of all, the surgery was successful. I'm recovering on the long road to recovering, but I don't have any more hip pain. I feel perfectly fine. Obviously, I'm still sore. Hips are still weak. Like I said, I have a long recovery, learning to walk straight again. But the fact that I no longer had pain was a blessing. And I just thought about people who actually can't go and get health insurance or can't go and get a procedure like this done because they do not have health insurance. I thought that was completely unfair. And the thing that really drove it home was that I just kept thinking to myself, we live in the greatest country in the world. Why does anyone have to suffer with pain or not be able to get medicine or not be able to get dental care if you're living in the United States? Why is it that some people go without health care? And that just got me irritated and angry because I'm just trying to wrap my head around why. Why? Why is it that people don't have that? And I just thought to myself is that it's in the common good for everyone that people be able to go to the doctor, be able to get things checked out, be able to take the time off that they need to recover. And I completely just don't understand. So, just a little bit more about me in that most of you already know that I'm a federal employee. And obviously, during this current administration, I'm just keeping my head down, doing my work, offering my advice to anyone who will listen. But I have decent health insurance. May not be the best. My first job that I had actually was the best insurance I ever had, but it's not the worst. So again, a lot of that stuff was covered, yet again, even though the majority was covered, I was still left with a significant bill that I would be paying off for at least a good, I said good year. So I don't think anyone should have to go into debt or anyone should have to be bankrupt in order to get the health care that they need. So we as a society need to do something about that. That leads me to, universal health care, or if you want to call it, that's me being a liberal and saying, socialism is good. However you want to label it. I just think that as a society, as Americans, we should be demanding that all of our fellow neighbors, all of our fellow citizens should have health care. It should almost be a basic right. Because if we're all healthy, we'll all be productive, we'll all live longer, and we'll have a more richer and fuller life. Now, as I was recovering, I was actually watching the news, and so this is more toward my neighbors that lean more MAGA or right wing. As I was watching the news, I noticed that a certain senator by the name of Mitch McConnell, I'm pretty sure some of you have heard, has been MIA in the Senate because apparently he's had some type of health condition. So what I would like for some of my neighbors to say or to tell me, because I'm sure someone will take issue, because I'm sure everyone shouldn't have health care. That will be the motto. We're not a socialist society. Just explain this to me. Mitch McConnell in the past has voted multiple times against the Democrats and against bipartisan legislation that would give our fellow Americans, our fellow neighbors, paid time off for health-related reasons. He's voted it down every single time. Because, I guess there's the stigma that people are gaming the system. You got kids who don't want to work in their mom's basement, playing video games. Whatever the reason is, whatever the logic is, that was a bridge too far. He could not find it in himself to support legislation that would mandate our fellow citizens would get paid time off to recover from an illness or a surgery. Where am I going with this? So all of us pay our representatives' salary. We all pay taxes, both federal and state taxes, which chips into a pool, and that's how the government functions. It does things that it needs to do for the betterment of the society. In addition to us paying our taxes, we're paying the senators and we're giving them health care. So Mitch McConnell will say, the Kentucky senator will say, I'm not going to give you paid time off, but however, as being a senator and a representative of my constituents, I'm going to take all this time off to recover, and I'm asking you to respect my privacy. And you're going to pay me while I have this time off. So to all my MAGA and right-leaning neighbors, is this fair? Is this fair? In your attempt to basically bash me, saying that I'm a socialist, I'm a liberal, here is a staunch right-wing conservative who's voted down paid leave for our fellow American citizens, and yet he is benefiting from that. Is that fair? If you think I'm crazy, or if you think I'm just another liberal bleeding heart, then just explain that to me. Why is it okay for him to benefit from that? Because make no mistake about it, Mitch McConnell has no need to worry about going into debt for being sick. He just doesn't have to worry about that. That's not an issue for him. We're paying for that. We're paying for his pension. Do you have a pension? I just I just want people to understand that my religion, being a Christian, kind of shapes a lot of my thinking. And despite what you may be, whether you are a racist, a misogynist, whether you're straight, gay, liberal, whatever the spectrum is, I personally have a responsibility to treat you right, because I truly believe at the end of my life, when I go and meet my maker, it doesn't matter what you do to me. What matters is how I treat you. Did I treat you as a creation or a child of God? Did I show you respect? Did I show you love? So I feel like even if I disagree with you, you should still have the ability to go and get health care. We as a society should deem that so important, because even if you are the most vile person, I don't really want to see you die. Because as long as you draw breath, I mean, there's the hope that you will change. I just, I just, I just don't get, what am I missing? How, how could people vote a man in office that will deny them the ability to get paid time off, and then he flaunts it in their face? And yet, and still, I guarantee you, if he was running again, these same people who are being hurt by him would vote for him again. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me, because I don't understand. I do not understand. We're spending billions with a B of dollars in a war that our president said that he wasn't going to start new wars. But you'll cut the subsidies for Obamacare. Way to show it to the libs. Way to own them. Make more people suffer. You know what? I mean, isn't that what it is? Stick with your tribe. Come on, someone, put something in the comment. Tell me I'm being crazy. Tell me I'm being ridiculous. Tell me my points don't make any sense. Just tell me, what is your logic in supporting someone who doesn't want you to have it, but will revel in the fact that they have it? Because I assure you, Mitch McConnell is getting good health care. I assure you the doctors are pretty good in Kentucky that he's seeing. I'm pretty sure of that. And I assure you, when the bill comes due, he won't pause like I have to pause, or like how you have to pause. So I truly feel like we have to really take another look at healthcare. And we have to really ask ourselves, which party has been an advocate for getting people on healthcare, and which party has been resistant to it? And then when you answer that question, because I won't answer it for you here. I think it's completely obvious, but I won't answer it for you here. But I think when you answer that question, wouldn't it be in your best interest to vote for the party that has been advocating healthcare for you? And let me just say this to my younger neighbors. It's nice to be young. It's nice to be fit. It's nice to be athletic and active and doing all the things. But let me just give you this little foreshadowing. I promise you, as long as you draw a breath, you're going to get old. It's going to come a point in time where it's going to be a bit tricky to get out of bed. Some of the bones are going to ache and creak. You're going to find out that that pep in your step has slowed down just a tad. And you're going to need to keep that body as well oiled as you can. And that means going to see a doctor. So while you think you may be young and you may be invincible, we all felt that way. So I won't harp on that. At some point, you're going to need to see some doctors and just make sure everything is running at peak performance. Because you want to make sure you take care of this temple, because you only have one body and one life to live. So no one escapes this. At any rate, I will be hopefully making more videos as I recover. I've really missed talking to my neighbors. And again, this is just my opinion. I would love for you all to put comments in the comment section. You know, tell me I'm crazy. Tell me you agree with me. Cite some points. Just, you know, I love the interaction, but let's try to keep it civil. Love you all and take care.